Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here or if you're not, my name is Natalie and today I am reviewing the Insta360 Link 2. If you haven't seen any of my other tech reviews, I did do a review of the Mac Mini M4 and I also did a review of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. If you want to watch those, I will link them up in the info card. Also, you can check them out on my channel. I do have a playlist of technology reviews. I am adding this to the list of technology reviews because my old webcam is not the greatest, but similarly to my process of what I did for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I'm going to have a couple different sections in the video. So the first section is going to be an unboxing where I talk a little bit about the actual things inside of the packaging of the Insta360 Link 2 and also a little bit about Insta360 in general as a company and the other products that they do and what they're well known for. I am also going to do a section where I use the webcam since I'm not going to be comparing it with my old webcam because my old webcam is not the greatest, and also that type of comparison won't do it justice, especially because my old webcam has run into a couple hardware issues. I will talk about that a little bit later as well. I will be filming in a couple different lightings for a couple different scenarios so you can really see the range of the Insta360 Link 2. And then finally, I'm just going to do a overview of my pros and cons of the Insta360 Link 2 and my final thoughts on whether or not I would recommend it or how I would go forward in using it. Yeah, without further ado, since this is a bit of a long video, I'm going to get straight into the unboxing, so let's go.
In this video and in this section of the video, I'm going to be going over what comes in the box with the Insta360 Link 2, and then I'll give a short overview of the company that makes it. Opening the box, the Insta360 Link 2 webcam is the first thing that you see. It's held in place with a mold insert so it doesn't shift during shipping. In the package, you'll find the Insta360 Link 2 webcam, a USB-C to USB-C cable, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, a small tripod mount for use on a desk or a table, documentation, which is just basically a manual including the quick start guide and the warranty information. Everything is laid out into separate compartments, which makes it easy to identify each piece. The packaging kind of reminds me a lot of Apple packaging, but that's just kind of a me thing that I correlated in my brain. Now let's talk a little bit more about the company that makes the Insta360 Link 2, and that is Insta360. If you go to any micro center or any big store that has a lot of different cameras, you'll definitely run into Insta360. Insta360 was founded in 2015 and is based in China. The company started with 360-degree cameras and gained recognitions for action cameras in the Insta360 X series. They also make professional VR cameras and have expanded into webcams like the Link line. A consistent focus across their products is combining compact design with software features like AI tracking and multiple shooting modes. As you can see with the one that I have here, it is very compact and very small, but it still has a gimbal and works very well. It also has a very standard, solid structure. So that's what comes in the box with the Insta360 Link 2, and a short look into the company. In the next portion of this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about using it, setup, and actually testing it.
Guys, is this working right now? Is this working? Finally, okay. Guys, you will not believe the journey I have just been through. I am currently using the Insta360 Link 2. You guys don't know this, but I have tried recording with this thing 6 times already. And every single time I get this stupid little gray square where my video should be, where it says 00 time and a little X through the play button. And I can't play the footage. I tried using this to do a review a week ago and I was going to an event, so I thought I would film early in the morning, getting ready. It took me an hour to film, talking about all of the parts of this. Oh, I can have like filters and stuff. Wow, that's cute. I just got a little blush. I don't know if I like that, but actually that looks a little creepy. Let me take that off 1 second. Okay, back to my story. Guys, I tried it a week ago and I filmed for an hour. When I finished filming, imagine my horror when the video comes up as 00 time and I cannot open the video, I cannot look at the video, I cannot use the video at all. And then give up. I'm like really upset and frustrated myself. It's like early in the morning. I don't want to deal with it, so I was like, whatever. I'll try again later. take some space, right? A week later. So this morning, well, technically last night, I didn't sleep at all because I was having a hard time, and that's why I look the way that I look, okay? I look awful because I didn't sleep. So I ended up coming up here at 8 o'clock because I thought, you know, this is a reasonable time to start getting work done, starting to do stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to reattempt. I'm going to try this again. We'll see what happens, okay? Let's hope for the best. Try it again. It happens again. So then I look up online, seek the internet, and also, I thought maybe it's because last time I didn't actually read the manual, okay? I thought maybe I'm just that dumb, that like I missed something. I thought that this was going to be pretty self-explanatory because it's just a plugin, right? And I read the manual, and the manual is English only up until this page, okay? Only this much is English. And it does all the things that I figured out on my own. And it says I didn't do anything wrong. So it's not my fault, okay? I'm not dumb, okay? I read the manual, I mean, technically after, but I was not wrong. Okay, check the YouTube video of the official official channel of Insta360, and I saw that again. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't missing anything. All I had to do was plug it in, and I tried my best to maintain calm. So I was like, you know what? It's 8 in the morning. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be frustrated by this right now. So I leave it alone. I come back an hour later at 9 o'clock. I sit there. I'm like, okay, let me try again, but I'm going to unplug and replug in the camera. Maybe it's my bad, okay? So I unplug it and replug it in. And it still doesn't work. And then I seek the internet a little more, okay? I do research. I go to Reddit, I check Google, I check the customer service website, and it says that there are probably multiple reasons. Either my Insta360 Link 2 is faulty, which, please, dear God, don't let that be the case. The other possible issues is that the power source of the plug-in of the USB-C is not strong enough. However, I have a Mac Mini. It is definitely strong enough. So there's no way that it's outdated in comparison to my Insta360 Link 2, which was also another possible issue where the foundation of what I'm trying to use the camera for is not strong enough to support the camera. It also said there's a possibility that if you have it plugged into an extender instead of the actual device, then it might not be transferring properly. So try to plug it in directly into the device. But as you guys saw, I did do that initially. So I decide, you know what, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to unplug it, plug it back in. So I try again, try filming again. Doesn't work. And then I'm frustrated and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to update my Mac Mini and see what happens. Hopefully it fixes the problem. And if that doesn't work, I will update the Insta360 Link. And then after that, the only last option is to contact customer service and get a refund or get a replacement. I rolled around for a really long time while I was waiting for my Mac Mini to update. And I also took a nap. And I ended up waking up at like 2 o'clock. Now it's 3. Basically, I come back at 2 o'clock, right? And I try again after I've updated my Mac Mini. And it doesn't work. I get another 0 time. And I talked to you guys. I did this whole spiel, like this exact one. And also, if it seems a little bit rehearsed, it's because I've said it 5 times already. And then I reach a page under like the support section where it talks about firmware, how to update it. And it talks about how like if I connect it in, I should click the little 3 dot ellipses in the corner. And I was like, 3 dot ellipses in the corner? What are you talking about? Because I've been using Photo Booth, okay? And apparently it doesn't work with Photo Booth. I have to use their app. Now, I don't understand how this works. If I want to use OBS, or if I want to use Zoom, or if I want to use Photo Booth because it's easy for me, or if I want to switch over to my PC and switch over to Windows, I have to use OBS, right? Do I have to download the app there? Do I have to film them separately and then just edit them together? Like, I don't know. She's been hanging out with me all morning. This app is actually interesting because, like, other than the fact that it didn't tell me that I had to use an app, and then the app itself, you can add, like, effects to your videos, you can blur the background, you can change your background, you can add in different backgrounds, you can add makeup to your face, you can add enhancements to your face, you can change the exposure, the focus, the white balance, etc. It also has these little effects using, like, hand gestures, so, like, for example, right now, it follows my face, right? Okay, stop moving for a second. Stop moving. But if I do this, it blinks the little green dot, and I'll put a little clip so you can see. But it blinks the little green dot, and when it does that, it stops tracking my face. There's also one where you can zoom in. That one hasn't really worked for me yet. There's also one where you can show the whiteboard, which is this. Like, if you have a whiteboard, it like focuses in on the whiteboard. I don't have a whiteboard right now though. I'll test that out later for you guys to see, but yeah, right now the only one that's working for me is the stop tracking one. I will be back probably another day after all of this frustration. I'm not in the mood to try to experiment more with this camera because it's becoming a lot less self-explanatory than I would hope. And I kind of had to use my context clues from the support page of the fact that there's an app because it doesn't say that anywhere. What I said the first time that I filmed this, like for that hour, I was talking about how since my old camera is not good at all, it is not as good quality in terms of like obviously like the visuals as you can see here, and also like it has a tendency to cut out a little bit. It has like this little bar that happens at the bottom of it. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it? It has a little bar that happens at the bottom of the screen for some reason. And I thought that maybe it was just like a connectivity issue because in order to connect it to my Mac Mini, I have to connect it using a dongle because it only comes with a USB plug-in. I thought maybe that was the issue, but when I tried to connect it to my laptop or my PC, it still does the same thing, so it might end up actually being a hardware issue. And as much as I want to do what I did in the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or compare footage, so I would rather just give you the footage of this Insta360 Link 2 and show you how it works in different lightings throughout the day and also for different usage that I usually use it for. I want to show you the range of what it can do in different lightings because that's really the hope. And already the quality of this camera is significantly way better than my old one. So either way, it's an improvement for me personally, but through this video, I will be telling you whether or not I think that this is worth it in terms of functionality, usability, if it's friendly for users. Already it's looking like a big question mark for me anyway because of all this frustration. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay, I'm gonna go now. She's really loving me to death. I need it though. She's doing her job. Okay. Yep, that's it guys. I will see you guys later. I will also try out the whiteboard thing later as well. Because I do have a whiteboard that I got for Christmas.
Nice.
From Michaela. So I will show you guys that later. It's a cool feature that this camera has. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, okay, so as you can see, it is another day. It is currently 9:30 in the morning, and I did a little messing around. So I figured out a smart effects. Also, I decided to do a little blur in the background, if you guys can see. I also decided to adjust the settings in the app. So there's a section where you can put more. It tells you like whether or not you want to enable the smart effects, which is like if you wanted to track your face like this versus if you wanted to stay still like this, like you put your hand out versus, as you can see too, like it's a little bit zoomed in compared to yesterday. I figured it out. It's like this. If you wanted to do the thing, you have to make the gesture first, wait for the little green circle to blink, and then it'll do the thing. It's a little bit, it's not the best. I'm not quite sure how to use it for Zoom or for any meetings or for OBS yet, but I will have to test that out today because it just so happens I also have a meeting today for one of my master's classes, and I'm meeting with a professional vibe coder. But yeah, I will have to use this for that just to see how it works. I really like it. I think that like it just needs a little bit of tweaking with the settings and also figuring everything out and stuff. I'm going to film right now, which is 9:30, and then I'm also going to film at 2 o'clock getting ready for the gym because I didn't get to go yesterday because I wasn't feeling great, and I also didn't sleep, and I was worried about this and worried about a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, I didn't go yesterday, so I need to go today for sure. So I think 2 o'clock would be a good time because it's normally around the time where the sun is like beaming, like doing her thing. So I'm gonna do that, and I will also be back at around 5 o'clock for my meeting, which would be like later noon, I guess, and the sun will be less harsh, so it's another lighting. And then after that, I would be back in the evening for a gaming video. And in that point, I would have to test out whether or not this works with my PC and whether or not it works with OBS. So I do think that's good. Okay, I'm gonna get ready now for the day. Typically, this is not what I would be using the camera for. Like a get ready with me would be more likely on either my Canon PowerShot or my DJI, just because I feel like for that type of form of video, I like the angle of when I have the camera down here versus like as a webcam up here. But I also do want to mention too, my PC has its own separate monitor now. I got one from my boyfriend, which is really nice. In the previous footage that I had lost, that 1 hour footage, I did show that the camera has the ability to turn pretty far, but here's my other monitor, and then keeps going. Here's a window. Oh, it doesn't go any further. Actually, a little less than 180, because this is the point where it stops. 180 would be over here. Go back to my seat. No? Lost me there for a second. I got a little confused. I think it's less intuitive than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And also you can use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 as a webcam too. I can, if you guys like to see that, like in comparison to this. But I have done like a whole entire DJI Osmo Pocket 3 video. So I kind of feel like don't really feel the need to do that. Actually, I'm getting a bit confused about my left and my right side when I look at myself here. I wonder if I can flip the screen. I'm gonna change the auto tracking setting in the view section of the settings to slow instead of ordinary, because I feel like the way that it kind of like snaps onto me is not really my preference personally. Ah, yes. Stop tracking me. Okay, perfect. Never mind. I don't need to use my mirror. Also, it's cool that I can change a lot of these settings while I'm using the camera. I do think that, like, there are certain ones that you can't change while you're using the camera, but these ones that I have changed, you can. There is a way to basically not see yourself in the monitor, because I know some people, they have a hard time, like, recording while also seeing their face. There's a setting where you don't have to see your face, but I personally like to see how I look while I talk. Oh, I also want to make it known that I'm not using a mic right now because I do want to test the mic on the webcam itself. The whole top panel of the webcam is a microphone, and there are settings in the actual app where you can adjust whether or not you want it to focus on your voice or suppress your voice, or there's also a music balance one where if you want to play music and stuff like that, it also has that option. I'm gonna stop talking now because I do like to watch things while I do my makeup and get ready, because there's a reason why I like to get ready by myself. It's just kind of like part of my ritual. I like to watch like YouTube videos and stuff.
what's coming up. One final song and they're saying they're closed. I play my last card. I know it's rushed and I'm betting it all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can't stay here. My spot's down the road and we could disappear, disappear. Feel love, real love. I hate to think you need your makeup. Morning, take off. Whatever time you gotta wake up. Rain check, ain't cut. Later may just be too late, love. There's only 3 hours till dawn. Should I make a move? Call you an Uber under the moon. You're not one to take control. It's hardest in the morning when you tell me you've got some places to go. Places to go. How soon can I miss you? How soon would be too early to go? 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. Tell me which of 30's not too early. I want you now, but we don't gotta hurry. Patiently waiting for a little validation. You leave me wondering now. Should I make a move? Or call you an Uber under the moon? You're not one to take control.
Okay guys, this is the final look. This can also be used really well if you're just like a beauty guru. This zoom in look looks really good, plus it focuses on like the products pretty well too if you want to do product placement. I'm not sponsored in this video, by the way, by anything, just saying. If I was, I would tell you that, but I'm not. But yeah, I think that this worked out pretty well for a morning get ready with me. I would suggest it for sure, because I do think that in terms of the look, it looks really professional, it looks really good. But I do have to say the gesture effects are a bit sensitive. Also, the files are very big when it creates videos. So there were like a few times where I ran out of storage on my Mac Mini, which is kind of crazy because I use this mostly for YouTube stuff and editing stuff, so it does take up a lot of room. But the fact the file is so big and the quality is so good, it takes up so much room, that is definitely something to keep in mind if you are just recording on your device and saving it to your device. You will have to consider that for sure. But other than that, and other than the fact that it is a bit sensitive, because at some point it also went into like whiteboard mode because it thought my makeup palette was like doing the like this, which is what happens when it, as you can see, like even the blur mode goes off when the whiteboard mode goes on. So it's a bit sensitive. Plus, like, sometimes, like, when I do this, there are moments where, like, I back my hand up and it, like, zooms out again, which is not ideal. It is a bit sensitive. I don't know if you can change that, not to my knowledge anyway, but yeah. that is that for now. It is now currently 10 o'clock. That took me an hour to film. But yeah, I do think that so far so good. I do like it. There are a few things I would like to change if I could about the sensitivity. I will be back later at around 2 o'clock, so in a few hours, to get ready for the gym and also just to talk to you guys for a little bit about the lighting and how everything is looking. Hopefully at that time it's a little sunnier. Right now it's still gloomy because it's still early in the morning, but once it gets sunnier I'll start talking to you about the lighting a little bit more. This is really going to up my game when it comes to gaming and also when it comes to the Freaky Friday videos, which around the time that I'm posting this video it is already October, so maybe I've already started the Freaky Fridays. But yeah, if you're looking at it and you're like, wait a minute, the quality of this video is significantly better than last year, now you know why. Yeah, I will see you guys later when I'm going to the gym. Bye! It is currently 2:30 and I'm about to go to the gym. I put my hair up in a little half up, half down little bun, and today is leg day. I never miss a leg day. I have been going to the gym consistently throughout the summer with my boyfriend every week, 3 times a week. I haven't been doing it for the past several weeks though because of school. It's been a little bit hectic trying to balance my schedule. I figured out a few things about the Insta360 Link 2, so I thought I'd share while I'm sitting here. Also right now the sun is looking real nice. It's way brighter in my room. You probably can't tell though because my room is pretty like dim in general. The sun doesn't usually come in really nicely until the evening, so normally when I do film and there's really nice lighting, it's probably later in the evening where it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that, which I will be back at 5 for my meeting. But I figured out that I can use the Insta360 Link 2 for Zoom and for meetings or for OBS. Apparently I can use the Insta360 Link 2 if it's in the setting of a meeting, but other than that, if it's not a quote-unquote meeting software of sorts, then I kind of have to use the app, so I can't use Photo Booth. So that would be good for later when I do my gaming video in the evening, but also good for my meeting as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym. I don't have a lot of time, so gotta go. Oh, also let me know if you want to see another workout video. I know I've only released one, and I've also switched gyms since then. I've switched my routine since then, and now I have a much more sustainable routine, despite the fact that I haven't gone in the past several weeks because of school. But it's easier to maintain, and I would love to talk a little bit more about that. So let me know if you would like another workouts of the week video, because I would love to do another one. We'll see. I'm gonna go now. I keep rambling. See you later at 5 for my meeting. Hey guys, I have a meeting, and as you can see, the sun is beaming like crazy. I also took a shower, so that's why the hair is currently wet and very wavy. I'm gonna go into my meeting now. I can't remember if it's on Google Meet or Zoom, but I will probably have to screen record because I can't record the meeting because it's not my meeting. So I think I might have to just screen record. I might end up closing the blinds a little bit because if it was this bright I would normally close the window. I actually think it's on Google Meet. I'm going to end this recording now and go into the meeting, and yeah, wish me luck. But yeah, let's get into it. Before then I might close the blinds a little though. Hey guys, okay, so my meeting is done and now I have to go get ready for dinner because I have dinner with an old friend that I haven't seen in a while, and I'm going with my boyfriend. But yeah, I just finished my meeting and I'm really excited for this project actually, which is a random topic. You guys probably don't really want to hear about my project, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's at the top of my brain. This is for my bioinformatics class, so it's essentially like coding and analysis through code for biological fields or biotech fields. My project is to analyze vibe coding, which vibe coding is a mix of coding and using AI in order to code. So in this case, my project has and is related to ChatGPT. I get to help and guide ChatGPT to program a code for qPCR melting curve graphs and find a way to best introduce that world so it's easier to analyze a certain number of base pairs and see where the melting curves are, and just improving off of the sponsor's already made vibe code using ChatGPT to analyze melting curves. And I'm actually really excited. If you guys don't know this, I used to code a lot. And this whole world of AI kind of intrigues me. Bioinformatics people are using it with an actual term under it called vibe coding. A little interesting to my little tech brain. So I'm actually really excited for this project. Random rant about my meeting and my project, but yeah. Oh, in terms of lighting, so obviously as you can see, the blinds are closed now. And around this time, which is like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the sun is beaming straight into my room, okay? So the light is so bright that I look like a ghost on camera, and the camera has been having some issue trying to focus. It does it pretty fast, but it also loses that focus and I turn white again, and then it focuses again, and then I'm good. Technically, normally when it's this sunny, I'm not filming like this. I would probably wait a little bit longer, or if I were filming, I would close the blinds, such as the way that I am now. So this will be more realistic with me with the blinds closed. But technically, since I am trying to show you what this looks like in different lightings, even harsh lighting, I would say that it has a pretty quick recognition of where I am and focuses and autofocuses pretty well with separate, like a pretty harsh light, but it's not consistent. That is my review for now. I don't think that I suggest using this in harsh lighting, but most people who do use webcams don't ever really webcam in harsh lighting. It's just, I'm trying to show you the range, okay? I had to use OBS in order to screen record the meeting, so that proves that the Insta360 Link 2 does work with any form of meeting, including Google Meet, Zoom, and also now proven OBS. So we will have no problem filming later. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go get ready for dinner, and then I will be back for gaming later. So we are back now at night, and I have my little light set up, everything. So yeah. We are now going to be filming a gaming video. It reads me pretty well. I do think that like some of the effects don't work as well when the lighting is like this. Like that one works well, but like the zoom in, it works as well, but not super well. Depends. I'm going to be filming and showing you a couple clips of me doing the actual gaming, but I'm doing a whole separate video up. Right, okay. Let me zoom in again. My pajama Pikachu pants. Also guys, like, as you can see, like, it's still quite sensitive when it comes to the effects. I might end up turning off the whiteboard one since that's not one that I really use. I completely forgot to do a clip of me doing the whiteboard thing. I'll do that later, but honestly, it's not something I use very often. If you're using this more for meetings and stuff, then yeah, use it, but I don't really use it. Oh, also, yes, you are now connected to my other monitor. As you can see, the angle has changed. I am now filming from my second monitor that I showed you guys, and I am filming using my PC instead, and I'm using OBS to film. I didn't download the app for the Insta360 app for the Link 2, but I think that the OBS works just fine because I can just move the video capture device, like, screen to fill the whole screen, so it doesn't really bother me much. So now I'm going to film my gaming video, so I will go film the intro for that, and I will be back.
Falling like rain, teardrops and diamonds. Perspectives can change, flashes of lightning.
back. I am back to give you my final thoughts and my final overview with the pros and cons of the Insta360 Link 2. Also, I wanted to use this opportunity to actually try the whiteboard setting and the smart whiteboard, but we will go into that a little bit. I decided to bring you a visual again like I did in the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 video, but instead on a whiteboard because this camera has a whiteboard setting. So in order to activate the whiteboard setting, we just have to do this. See if it sees it. It's right here, honey. Whiteboard not detected. It is. It is there. Detecting my whiteboard. Guys, I really want to show you this. It keeps telling me that there is no whiteboard, so we're going to select manually. It's kind of a bummer. It kept trying to go into whiteboard mode and now it's not even working. It like keeps trying to change into whiteboard mode, and even when I try to use it, it's like, oh, whiteboard mode does not detect your whiteboard. But what was the point? Okay, so here we go. This will do for now. That was kind of a disappointment. Okay, so here's my full review. I'm going to start with the pros, talk about all the good things, and then I'm going to talk about the cons, and then after that, we're going to move on to whether or not I would recommend the Insta360 Link 2. For the pros, it has superior 4K image quality, so the quality of the actual camera is incredible. I would definitely recommend, just based on the quality and the professionalism of the video footage. The files do end up being really big, which I've mentioned before, but I do think that the quality is worth it for sure, especially in comparison to my old one. That's definitely something that you should always consider when you get a webcam. Additionally, it also has smooth AI tracking with a 2-axis gimbal. So for me, it's interesting because the reason why I ended up getting the Insta360 Link 2 instead of the normal Insta360 is because I liked the idea of having the gimbal, especially since I do like to move around when I speak. So having the gimbal is really nice, but it is only a 2-axis gimbal, so it doesn't do a vertical filming, it doesn't do any of that. And it only goes about like 135 degrees around. So honestly, like no one is walking all the way in a circle when they're, filming, but this is a nice way if you do have a lot of meetings, but you also want to do like standing up content where you're talking to your meeting audience, or like you have to touch a board, or etc, etc. Additionally, it also has multiple specialized modes: whiteboard, desk view, AI tracking, regular webcam. There's also a pause track menu too. I don't really know how that works yet. I haven't tried it, but the rest of these I have tried. The regular webcam works really well, where basically you stop the AI tracking so it just stays in place. I use that one a lot because I do feel like in certain moments I do want the camera to stop moving and following me around because it can be a bit distracting depending. I also use the AI tracking one, which is the one I use the most. I do really enjoy that, especially since that's the reason why I got the gimbal, and it does intuitively follow pretty well. There are some moments where it doesn't quite follow and it loses me, which can be annoying, but it is pretty sensitive. Additionally, in the menu section and the settings section, you can change how fast the tracking speed is. I like to go for slow just because on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I also did slow. When it's at a regular speed, for some reason, it kind of like snaps a little bit when it follows you, and that doesn't really look great, and also it can be a bit distracting to a viewer or a bit discombobulating to a viewer. There's also a desk view. I did try this, but I didn't show it on camera because my desk is actually too short to do desk view. So when I do desk view, it's mostly just looking at my thighs, and that's not for the internet. There's also whiteboard mode, which is what we're in right now, and then I added that over here. Anyway, additionally, it also has a very solid build. It's standard mounting, so similar to most webcams, it just has like that little V clamp, and you clamp it onto the top of the monitor. You can screw it in if you want, you don't have to. And then there's also just magnetic mounting on the top for the actual camera onto the mount. And the whole thing is pretty secure. The magnetic attachment is very strong, and additionally, like, even with the movement of the gimbal, I never noticed it shaking or moving, and that is great. That's solid. Also, the actual putting together and plugging in the Insta360 Link 2 was pretty intuitive. Everything kind of made sense. You just plug it into your computer, mount it on top of the monitor, and attach them together, and it kind of just makes sense. It's very intuitive, and the build is very solid. I'm not worried about it falling over or anything like that. It is a bit heavier than the average webcam in my opinion, but that sort of solid build to make sure that the structure will stay and stand, which is great. Next up, I also noted that there's a lot of customization by the app. So if you have like the app like I'm using right now, you can customize all the settings so the background is blurred. You can customize the settings where you can add makeup to your face, you can change the lighting, you can change the exposure, you can customize the saturation, you can customize whether or not you actually want any of the gesture effect features on. You can change everything with little scales. Everything is customizable. The only thing that's not customizable is how sensitive the effects are, which is something that I kind of wish that they had, but they don't do that. So that's the only thing that you can only just turn on and off. It's not really an option to customize the amount of sensitivity those gesture effects have. Additionally, you can flip the screen like you saw I did. There's also a privacy mode. Honestly, this is incredible because you know how many people I've seen in the world on their laptops, they just put a little piece of black tape or put a piece of tape and color it with a Sharpie black, or put a sticker over top of their webcam because you always have the worry that someone is staring at you through your computer. Well, in this case, the actual Insta360 Link 2, it has a privacy mode where when you're not using it, it closes and it faces downward into itself, and the light turns off green. So when the green is off, that means it's no longer recording, which is great. So then you know whenever you're on camera or you're not, or you're being recorded or not. And also, like, for the extra insurance, it does turn downward, which is something that I do enjoy, knowing that I am not being recorded without my knowledge. This last one was definitely a me personal thing. I did really like the microphone. It's like the whole top panel plate is for a microphone, and you can also customize the sound settings in the settings of the app. Focus on your voice only, or focus on music, there are like a couple different options. And yeah, I do really like that. I do think too, though, that it does become an issue because when I'm doing other videos or stuff like that, it does elevate my voice above anything else. And when I go through to edit the footage, my voice is at like 10 level volume, while every other audio is at like a 0 or like a regular audio. So in editing, I did have to turn all of the volume down. If it was normal, this is what it would sound like. I'm so sorry. I left a warning for you because I knew that it was going to be very loud, but this is what it normally sounds like. Okay, now from there, we're going to move on to the cons. So the cons list looks like it's shorter, but similar to the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I'm not going based on how many items there are, but instead more on the overall quality of the actual Insta360 Link 2 instead of the number of cons or number of pros. So in terms of my cons, I definitely said that there are inefficient instructions, okay? As you guys saw at the beginning of my trying clip, I was having so much trouble figuring out how to use this thing because there were not enough instructions in the actual packaging of the Insta360 Link 2. The manual didn't tell me anything about what I needed to do, didn't tell me anything about an app. Okay, it was inefficient instructions. I would have loved if there was more information out there about an app or more information about things I could do to fix it. There are obviously so many resources out there. There's YouTube, there's other users, there's Reddit, there's etc., where people are talking about all of their opinions on the Insta360 Link 2 and also their solving of certain issues. So definitely check those out and make sure that you consult the internet and consult other people, because sometimes the situation is that the manufacturer won't give you all of the instructions and you might have to just figure it out on your own. So as user-friendly as I thought the actual putting together of the Insta360 Link 2 with my monitor and my Mac Mini and my computer was, I do have to say that not all of it was self-explanatory. There were definitely inefficient instructions in certain areas, so I do wish that was an improvement. That's not necessarily a thing on the app or the actual camera, that's just a personal thought. Second, this one is very, very important, guys. Okay, so the gesture controls were extremely inconsistent. I do think that for me, there were moments where it thought certain things were trying to indicate a whiteboard. When I had no whiteboard to be seen, I did not make the gesture for a whiteboard, which is like the peace sign. I also had moments where I tried to zoom in and it would zoom out a little bit, or I would try to zoom in and it wouldn't zoom in at all, or it wouldn't even notice my hand. And other times it would follow me when I didn't want it to follow me, or it would lose me while it was following me. There are just a lot of things about the gesture controls that are extremely inconsistent. So for me, I think I might end up turning off the whiteboard mode and just using the AI tracking in the zoom, because those ones work pretty well. But I do have to say that if I am doing low lighting or like I'm doing a gaming video, I might end up just turning all of it off after I've set everything in place, just because I feel like it was having a hard time reading me or listening to my instructions or gestures during the time of recording. And you never want that to happen, because, you know, if you're streaming or you're doing a meeting or something like that and it messes up, you might have an issue. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, that is something that is a big no-no. Even though this is claimed to be having all of these gesture controls that are extremely cool, extremely interesting, and help you with your presentation and help you with the webcamming, it does sadly have to be included in the cons because it is so inconsistent, even though that is something that they try to portray as one of their biggest selling points. In terms of the audio, I did mention before that it was a bit of an opinion for me for the microphone being really good quality because it is built in. But I did notice online, after doing some more research and reading up on things, a lot of people did say that the audio sync has a bit of a lag. I noticed it a little bit while I was filming certain clips. It would lag just like by a couple seconds or a couple like frames, but it's not so much that it's like noticeable. But a lot of people said that when they use an external mic instead of the built-in mic, there was about a 6-frame lag, which is not good at all. And so it can be a bit of an issue if I do in the future end up needing to film with a microphone, which I will for the Freaky Friday videos and etc. So that is going to be a bit of an issue. But I do think that that type of thing can be fixed a little bit in editing. You can shift the audio frame slightly to fit with the video frame, but that is a bit annoying and should be considered, especially if you are streaming or doing something more live. Finally, well, not finally, because I also added whiteboard, but second to last, second to last is that in low light or harsh lighting, the footage isn't great. So in low light, which I did the gaming section, I noticed that there was a bit of a grain to the footage. It wasn't super crisp, and it also didn't notice my gestures as well, because I noticed there were times where I would want it to stop tracking my face, or I would want it to track my face, or I would want to zoom in or zoom out, and the green circle just wouldn't indicate that it could see my hand at all. So I just ended up giving up, because I realized that like in low light, it really just doesn't register any of the gestures that I'm doing, or it's inconsistent at best, which is a bit annoying. So I think that sort of thing is something that you have to set before you film. I also noticed that there was lower recognition in the harsh light as well, not even just of the gestures, but of my face. So when I'm in front of the camera in front of harsh light, it took it a second to actually recognize me, or when it lost recognition of me, I would just lose my skin color entirely. And that's not a great sign. There are ways to obviously combat it or set the settings beforehand. Just keep in mind that the best that it will work would be in neutral lighting, kind of like the one that we are in right now. And then finally, the whiteboard. As you guys saw, I don't have to explain this one, guys. It doesn't work. It keeps trying to work. So in regular scenarios where I'm just talking, it registers anything that I do that looks somewhat like a peace sign as a whiteboard sign, and therefore it just zooms out and then removes all of my settings. And then in that case, I have to sit there and wait for it to fully register, or go in manually to switch it back to AI tracking, which is really, really annoying. So I'm just gonna turn it off. Personally, I don't use this enough to need it, so I'm just gonna turn it off. And sorry, my video cut out because I ran out of room again. Okay, so I was saying, by the way, if I do need the whiteboard setting, I will use it again, but in regular moments I will probably turn it off. Would I recommend the Insta360 Link 2? Let's go back to regular mode and I will explain that to you, my personal opinion on whether or not I would recommend the Insta360 Link 2. I do think that there are a lot of great qualities to the Insta360 Link 2. Do think that there are amazing qualities, but I do also think that all of these fun features that make the Insta360 Link 2 so special aren't necessarily super important. Do I think they're cool? Yes. The fact that I can do this, incredible. That's super cool to me and my little nerd geeky brain. I do really love that. I do enjoy that so much. But I also know that in terms of usual uses of what people normally use webcams for, which is for filming for meetings or streaming or filming video games or other things of that sort, where like you're filming at your desk, you don't necessarily need the AI tracking. Maybe if you do really intricate meetings, maybe, but most people don't. Most people just sit down in a comfy spot and do meetings. So it's not super necessary, not super important to have those components, but it is cool. Now, it also simultaneously is a bit annoying because those features are very inconsistent. So even though you're getting them, they can be a bit annoying and they might not work the way that you want them to. Admittedly, I do think that the Insta360 Link 2, even though I did make the purchase and I really want to say that it was worth it, is something that I think is not worth it for everybody. If you're super into like these niche camera tech type of things, like the gimbal or the AI tracking or the zoom in, those type of niche things, I totally think, you know what, go for it. There are ways you can customize it that will work for you and you will enjoy it, right? And there will be ways that you can enjoy it because you like those niche things. Like for example, me, I love it. I love the niche things. And even though they give me a little bit of frustration on the inside when they kind of go haywire and they do things other than what I'm suggesting to them, a lot of the time sort of AI things, including like AI deep thinking things like ChatGPT or other things of that sort, you kind of need to guide them because they're kind of like really smart babies. Okay. And so for me, it's kind of something that I'm okay with dealing with, but not everybody will be. So I do definitely recommend it if you are super into like those little niche camera things like the gimbal, the AI tracking, the zoom, things like that. But also keep in mind all of the things that other people warn you about the downfalls of the Insta360 Link 2. So definitely keep those in mind while you are thinking about purchasing it, if you still really want to get it because of all of those features. But if I'm being entirely honest, I do think that there are other Insta360 cameras or other webcams that have just the same amount of really great quality that don't cost as much or don't have all of these features in it, but don't cause as much of a headache or have issues with audio or have issues with these effects or have issues with the inconsistency, that sort of thing, or even have issues with low light. There are tons of other options that are less expensive that don't have all of these features, but also these features aren't necessarily important or necessary for every user. I know that Insta360 also has another camera that looks similarly to the Insta360 Link 2 that doesn't have a gimbal. My boyfriend actually ended up buying that one. He told me that I should probably do a review of that one as well for you guys, just so you can see the difference. Realistically, more what other people would want than this one. But for me, I do think that as a purchase, it is really great for me for the content that I do make, and also because my old webcam was really bad. So this one is significantly better. But yeah, that is my final thoughts. I basically am just saying that if you're really into this sort of technology in terms of cameras, definitely go for it. But if you're not, it's not important to get this. Honestly, you could just skip to a different regular webcam instead that has great quality. So I love doing these types of videos, and I know that you guys love these types of videos because my last 2 tech reviews have gotten so much love from you guys. I honestly just enjoy making them. So definitely leave a comment down below about what you think, and also definitely leave a comment down below if there's any other type of camera or type of technology you would like me to review. Obviously, if it's something I don't know a lot about, I will have to do a lot of research before I can make that video, or if it's something that is a bit expensive, I won't be able to spend the money on it for a little while or be able to make that video for a while for you, but I will try my best to get them out there for you. Additionally, let me know too if you would like me to review the camera that my boyfriend has, because he really does want me to do a review on it. Also, should we come up with a name for this little tech review corner? I feel like it would be kind of fun to just actually come up with a name for it and do kind of like a intro title slide like I do with my Freaky Friday videos or the podcast or the other videos. Let's think about it. Guys, give me suggestions about this little tech corner of mine. But yeah, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, thank you for watching. Good morning, good night, Goodbye!